the night before amputation, we had all my kids right on my left foot. There's stories that they remember about it. It was definitely a hard decision because I walked into the hospital without a limp. The next day I was wheelchaired out with my lower left leg gone. And my wife was there with me. And my wife reminded me about my notes about why my old foot wasn't worth having, and why my prosthetic definitely gives me more potential. And I remember the first time looking at my stump there on my left leg, and you don't feel whole. Maybe not as much of a man as you used to be when you're missing that lower limb. And I've been impressed with how well Jared's been able to try to work with me, and it seems like I'm always calling him, and he's always willing to take me in to work on things, and that's been pretty helpful. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm bothering him, but he's never acted that way. He's never, not once, acted put out for anything that I've done. I had the leg cut off in January, that way I can be back to work by March or April, and that was definitely a big learning curve. Everyone I talked to said the first year is definitely the hardest year, where you got the most learning. I put in a pretty solid 80 hours a week of labor, and anyway. I decided to keep my right foot simply because I'm a concrete guy, and I spent half my days bent over scrubbing on concrete. And so I decided to keep my toes, keep my right foot, just so I have the ability to push back. And so for that reason, I decided to keep one leg. But I'm definitely not anywhere near full. I can't go back to climbing. My residual limb, my right leg, the one that I kept, it's in pretty bad shape. I feel like I got 3 lifetimes worth out of both legs before the accident, because I lived life as much as I could. I figure I'm about 40%, 30% of what I used to be. The reality is since the accident, not the amputation, but since the accident, those things are done. I won't be able to do that again. But eventually I'm going to have my right leg amputated, and I'll tell you what, the first thing that I do when I get that one taken off is I'm going to go back out to the rock climbing wall, or I'm going to go for a run or something. That's really what holds me back right now, is my residual limb. It holds me back from being able to run or jump or climb or anything like that, just because it can't take the impact. And in lots of ways daily, you have moments of despair where you feel like life is just too hard. Of course life's hard, and I still have moments. After the accident, for the first year and a half, and there was no relief from pain, and there was hardly any ability to sleep. But it's interesting, I look back and although things hurt now quite a bit, but the nice thing is you look at the days and you say, all right, I had that moment of despair yesterday where things were just hurting, my leg was hurting, my ankles were hurting, but here I am now, and I made it through yesterday, and so that means I can make it through today. And so definitely there's moments, everyone has dark moments. I never hid from those dark moments. I don't try to be in denial over those dark moments. I just try, and I know I'll have more down the road. I don't let the excuse of a broken back and broken legs and broken feet, I don't let that be the deciding factor about how I'm going to live the next day or the next moment. Obviously, I definitely have some restraints on what I can do, but I don't spend any effort dwelling on that, because it doesn't mean anything to me. All I can focus on what I can do. And so I've learned to be pretty straightforward and honest with myself, with what I can and can't do. And I guess I've been surprised at how much I can do. I didn't want to be that person that looked back and said I should have cut it off earlier. And so my advice would be to hold on and get her done and move forward with life.